exhale through your mouth. And now bring back your awareness to your hands and your feet. And just feel how your hands and your feet feel, what sensations you perceive within your palms, within your feet. Just notice the sensations. Move your fingers gently and slowly open your eyes.
I really felt that.
Yes,
I mean,
the
I
energy.
felt the body, I was moving from one side to the other. Why
It's
does
funny
it-
when you said that, and then I kind of like my leg moved or something, like
Really?
at that moment.
Oh, just automatically.
Yeah, it was really funny because I
Yeah.
didn't. Yeah, that same moment.
I see. Alright, now you can all take your manuals and your pens. And we are going to start with the first part of the seminar. And that is about universal consciousness. Actually, it is called Understanding Universal Consciousness. And I'm going to start by saying a few words about this seminar and about my work. Basically, I always had this extrasensory ability since I was a child, but I didn't always understand them, I didn't always pursue them. And I always had this sort of thirst for knowledge. I always wanted to know what is the purpose of our lives here. What are we doing here? What is our purpose? And there, of course, there's so much to read on metaphysical things, religious things, philosophy, and I think there's so many resources out there, but it can get quite confusing because many of these resources have actually contradictory information. Even in the New Age spiritual world, spiritual communities, we have so much contradictory information. Some people just tell us to let go and let things happen. Some people tell us to actually focus and visualize and concentrate on what we want. And so many phenomena that people still struggle to understand. After quite a long spiritual journey that I've had, and I've searched to understand, like I said, all of these concepts, and I've attended a lot of seminars and courses myself, and I read a lot that there is out there to read about these subjects. I've experienced things myself, and this is, I think, one of the most important things, that you have the experience of the things that you're talking about, and this is how you understand them. You experience them firsthand in your life, in your reality. So I've started this journey a while ago, and I've been through quite a few challenges and obstacles on my journey, and I think these were basically meant to make me realize what I have realized and what I have put into my work, into this seminar, for example. I've met people who were karmic encounters, and again, they helped me realize things about life and about myself. I think I can say that I had just one mentor, one true mentor, that I met in the south of France. And his work is amazing. He can heal people via distance, telling them exactly what they have, without any, tens of sessions, just in one go. So he's really enlightened, and he saw this ability in me from when I first saw him. And actually, when you are meant, let's say, to go on this route, and I believe that this is my purpose here. Part of it is basically to know about this information and to share it with people. When you are on this route, I think you can experience a lot of suffering as well, because I don't know, the thing is that when you experience the negative side of things, then it pushes you, almost like you have the kicks in the ass, that makes you move forward, because otherwise you just stay in your shell and you not evolve, you just stay in your comfort zone. So I've experienced this sort of kicks in the butt, let's say, that really pushed me forward. And for example, being sensitive and extrasensory, but not actually knowing what I'm dealing with, not actually knowing, how to deal with these things made me very vulnerable, because spirits, for example, would just follow me and would attach to my aura, thinking that I can help them, and I didn't know how to help them at that time. And then I started, reading about these things and experiencing things myself, and my mentor really helped me at that point, and he showed me, you have this ability, but you need to use it, you need to know how to work with it. And once I've opened myself to this path, everything started flowing. It was just a matter of opening myself to this awareness. Because, part of my adolescence, for example, all of these things were hidden from me. I was keeping them sort of closed somewhere in a cupboard. And I wouldn't share them with my friends because I thought they wouldn't understand me, all these sort of things. But once I have really embraced this knowledge, this awareness of the world, I've realized that there is no other way. There is no other way of living life but in full awareness. But because it has helped me so much understanding these phenomena about the world and about myself. So spirituality and esotericism and metaphysics is not a separate part from our lives. We don't have to dissociate our normal day-to-day lives from this knowledge. We have to integrate them in our day-to-day lives, because it is part of who we are, of our lives. And as you are going to see in the first part, it is how everything started. So now let's get into the first part. And basically, if you just turn your pages, your manual is at page 6. You're going to see the first chapter, basically, of the first part, and that is called the purpose of creation. Now, everything started with what we call God, or God consciousness. This omnipotent, omnipresent consciousness, energy, I'm going to call it God so that it is easier for you to relate it to it. This is energy, this potential, everything there is also represented in esoteric traditions, and it was also represented in the ancient Egypt by the eye. So the eye of God. So this is just pure potential. I'm going to tap a bit into Kabbalah as well. In the Kabbalah, basically, we have the Ein Sof. The Ein Sof is basically the potential. It is the potential for everything there is. It is a big pool of possibilities, basically. It is everything there is. The eye of God. Now, how did we go from this potential to the manifested world that there is today? What was the trigger? So, this was already existence in itself. But then, if you have read the Bible, you know that everything began with one commandment, and that first commandment was, let there be light, right? So light is actually when this potential became self-aware. Light is nothing but information. Light is information about God. Light is information about what this omnipotent and omnipresent energy and consciousness is. So there was this light, was the information about the self of God, about God himself, herself, or itself, right? So when this consciousness said, let there be light, it became aware of itself. When God becomes aware of itself, we have a circle. The circle represents perfection. There is nothing that exists that is outside the circle. Everything that is, all existence is within the circle, and the circle is perfection. And the circle does not have an end and a beginning, because it is the end and the beginning. It is perfect. So that was the first commandment, let there be light. This is when the light of consciousness or self-awareness of God is born. So basically, this mind of God becomes aware of what it is, of everything that is within the circle, all the possibilities. When this happens, when God becomes aware of itself, also the law